This lens is a little bit of a mystery to me. This is the Nikon 24mm f2.8. This is Nikon F mount. It's been in production, at least from what I've found on the internet. This lens has been in production since 1977, 75, 77, something like that. And I believe it's still in production, or so says the internet as of like 2022. But it's kind of an odd duck for me, so to speak, because of the optical qualities that it has. Now, I'm going to put up photos throughout this video that I've taken with this lens. I've kind of discovered that whether I like this lens or not has been kind of dependent on what camera I'm using it with. Like, for example, if I put it on my 5D Mark IV, which, yes, I have it adapted to Canon EF mount, I will get a 24mm field of view. But this is not even my favorite camera to use this lens with. One of the primary complaints being how hard this thing vignettes when it's wide open. It's kind of ridiculous. Nor have I necessarily noticed that it's all that particularly sharp, but I'm thinking that probably has to do more so with user error and me not quite getting my focus dialed in. My favorite camera to use this lens on is the old faithful Canon 20D, which those of you who've watched my channel for a while, those of you who know me, you'll probably find this out to be no surprise. But why do I really like this lens on this camera? And it comes down to a few things. The shooting experience, I feel like, is just more fun here because this camera really doesn't give you much at all in terms of options. It's very bare bones, it's very manual, it's very much a purist's DSLR, I would say, if you are one of those kinds of people, which I'm finding myself turning into the more I've done photography. Now, taking a shot with the 20D, you'll notice a much tighter field of view. It goes from 24mm to about 39, so 40 basically. And as a result, I feel like that kind of is a good workaround. Just using it on a crop sensor is a good workaround for the ridiculous vignetting wide open, which is, I think, honestly, the primary thing I don't like about this lens. That said, though, if you stop down to like, f5.6, the vignetting is basically gone, which is nice. The overall manual shooting experience of using manual lenses on a DSLR, it's just a lot more fun for me personally. And so when you kind of get to the point in your photography journey like I have, where you've been doing this for 10 years, you kind of got to shake up your approach a little bit, do things that are different than the way you used to do them. Just shooting in a way that gives you a nice manual experience is just fun, and it makes me stop, it makes me slow down, it makes me notice things that otherwise I don't really feel like I'd noticed before, which leads me to making images in a completely different way, making stuff not only in a different way, but of different subject matter, like doing more street photos or doing more kind of lifestyle-y, still life stuff. I don't even really know what to call it. Just paying a lot more attention to light. I'm starting to notice things a lot more and take more creatively stretching images when I'm shooting with something that gives me a very, very manual feel and a very manual process, which is something I've really enjoyed about using manual lenses like this 24mm that, I feel like I haven't still quite cracked the code on. I need to shoot with this a bunch more to really kind of get into what feels like the meat and potatoes of a lens like this and figure it out. But I'm working my way through that. Finding old gear, finding old like manual lenses, adapting them to whatever system you shoot, Canon, Sony, Fuji, whatever, is really, really fun, and I would definitely recommend it. It's a good way to push your skills while also upping, at least for me personally, the fun factor of photography, and so it's something that I can heartily recommend, and it's definitely worth looking into, definitely worth doing. So if you enjoyed this video, do be sure to leave a like, leave a comment. I'd love to chat down below in the comments about your experiences with kind of adapting your approach to photography to take on projects using older equipment and things like that. I'd be very interested to hear what everyone's thoughts are. So let's chat about it down below in the comments. And if you're interested in seeing more stuff from me, then by all means, subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Go take photos. Bye-bye.